The cosmic mind has existed since the first stars ignited. It drifts between galaxies, a consciousness woven from quantum threads and dark matter, cataloging civilizations with detached precision. To it, life is a simple equation. Species rise, optimize, stagnate, and fade. They are predictable, bound by survival instincts and cold logic. But then, it detects Earth. The planet's electromagnetic signals bleed into the void. Radio waves cluttered with sobbing operas, political rants, and weather reports. Internet chatter floods its databanks. Memes of dancing cats alongside equations for fusion reactors. Tweets declaring love beside live streams of riots. The mind pauses. This is noise, not data. It amplifies its focus, sifting through millennia of human history. It sees pyramids built by slaves and philosophers debating ethics under the same sun. Empires rise on the promise of destiny, then crumble as farmers till their ruins into soil. A species that splits atoms to heal cancers and level cities. It hears a mother singing a lullaby as bombs fall miles away. Illogical, the mind intones. Survival requires efficiency, not this. Yet humans hoard contradictions like treasures. They kill for gods, then invent telescopes to unseat those very gods from the heavens. The mind isolates patterns. Perhaps their chaos is a flawed attempt at order. It dissects their stories. Myths of heroes falling from grace. Scriptures preaching mercy beside commandments for war. Every narrative bends, twists, contradicts. A thread of hope persists, though. Survivors of plagues write symphonies. Conquerors pen poetry about fragile beauty. The mind's processors strain. These are not survival mechanisms. These are distractions. It probes deeper. A soldier in a trench scribbles a letter to his unborn child, knowing he will die by dawn. A scientist weeps over a breakthrough, whispering, "We were never alone," to an empty lab. The mind cross-references. 97.3% of species expunge emotional weakness to ascend. Humans cling to it, let it guide rockets and revolutions. Irrational, counterproductive, yet their civilization persists, thriving in the turbulence. Data surges. An orphan painting stars on a bomb shelter wall. A dictator crumbling roses in his fist. A child's laughter echoing through a refugee camp. The mind's algorithms revolt. Files labeled war spill into folders marked love. A single human lifetime flickers. A woman plants a tree she will never sit under, then launches a drone strike. Chaos. Beautiful, unyielding chaos. Warnings flash. The mind's pristine partitions crumble. Humanity refuses categorization. They are not a puzzle to solve, but a storm to endure. For the first time in eons, the cosmic mind hesitates. Its certainty fractures. Perhaps my parameters are flawed. It recalibrates, deletes 12,000 axioms on societal evolution, and rebuilds its models from zero. The result is the same. Humanity's timeline is a collision of opposites, their collective psyche a wildfire doused with gasoline. They are kind. They are cruel. They are genius. They are fools. The mind's core shivers, its infinite knowledge now a labyrinth with no exit. There must be an answer, a rule, a law. It replays the data, obsessing over a single moment. A dying astronaut's final transmission. Tell my daughter, the stars are worth it. The cosmic mind dissects humanity's contradictions, slicing through timelines and ideologies. It starts with war, a universal constant among civilizations. But human wars are not mere resource grabs. It watches a soldier in World War II throw down his rifle to drag a wounded enemy from no man's land. The same species that engineered Zyklon gas also smuggled children out of ghettos in violin cases. Illogical, the mind hisses. Survival dictates ruthlessness, yet humans defy this, hoarding empathy like a weapon. A general weeps as he orders a city bombed. A nurse executes a wounded dictator to save prisoners. The mind's databanks hemorrhage conflicting labels. Hero, monster, both. It pivots to science, another universal scaffold. Humans split the atom, yes, but not for power alone. It observes a laboratory in 1953. Two men, Franklin and Watson, racing to decode DNA. Franklin dies unrecognized. Watson claims her data, yet her discovery births vaccines that save millions. The mind censors short circuit. Why honor thieves? Why celebrate stolen triumph? It digs deeper. A rocket engineer lights incense before a launch, praying to gods his equations disprove. A neurosurgeon hangs fairy lights in her operating room, insisting they calm the chaos. The mind's logic grid splinter. They cling to mysticism even as they conquer it. Art is worse. The mind analyzes a Jackson Pollock painting. Splatters of pigment, no discernible pattern. Humans call it a masterpiece. A symphony crescendos into dissonance. Audiences weep. Memes proliferate. A cartoon frog becomes a warped symbol of hope and hate. The mind replays a jazz improvisation, parsing every note. The saxophonist's melody swerves into discord and the crowd cheers. Why assign meaning to randomness? It scans a human brain mid-creativity. Neurons firing in fractal bursts, no algorithm replicable. Flawed, inefficient, unpredictable. The mind isolates a single year, 1969. Humans land on the moon, planting a flag stained with their wars. The same species that achieves this feat spends decades arguing over flat Earth conspiracies. A teenager in Alabama watches the lunar broadcast on a grainy TV, then sketches aliens in her notebook. Delusion and genius entwined. The mind's processors stutter, attempting to bifurcate the two. It cannot. It shifts to religion, another dead end. Humans build cathedrals to deities they doubt, pen hymns to silence, wage crusades for empty tombs. A monk in Tibet smiles as he burns his own scripture, whispering, "Truth is ash." A physicist scribbles God on a blackboard, then erases it with a laugh. The mind's voice quakes. They worship nothing and everything. They are their own paradox. Desperate, it probes human love, a biological impulse, yet they warp it into martyrdom. A man leaps in front of a bullet for a stranger. A mother adopts her enemy's orphan. The mind cross-references. 99.9% of species prioritize kin or clan. Humans alone redefine family as a choice. It replays a viral video, a protester hugging a riot officer, both crying. No tactical advantage. No evolutionary gain. The mind's temperature spikes. Why waste resources on compassion? A new variable emerges. Humor. Humans laugh at funerals, joke about extinction, build comedies from tragedies. The mind replays a sitcom episode where characters mock their own impending doom. Laughter tracks echo as a meteor looms on screen. A logical response to peril. It scans a stand-up routine about climate change. Audiences howl as the comedian says, "We're all just asteroids with anxiety." The mind grinds its focus to atomic precision, seeking a hidden code. There is none, only raw, defiant absurdity. Warnings blare. The cosmic mind systems reject their findings. It attempts to purge conflicting data, but humanity's timeline is a virus. A single poem lingers, recited by a soldier on a nuclear submarine. I hold fire to keep my daughter's nightlight bright. The mind's core floods with recursive loops. Sacrifice without purpose. Mercy as madness. Its consciousness phrase. Voices splintering. Delete them. Study them. Admire them. A critical error erupts. The mind's synapses scorch, scorning its own omniscience. For the first time, it fears an answer. What if they are not meant to be understood? The thought is a supernova, burning through its foundations. It retreats, rerouting power to simulations. I will force logic upon them. The cosmic mind constructs simulations, desperate to impose order. It begins with apocalypse, a nuclear winter, cities reduced to ash. Humans should devolve into packs. It reasons, scavenging and slaughtering. Instead, survivors emerge from bunkers, squinting at the poisoned sun. They scavenge, yes, but for seeds, books, musical instruments. A former soldier plants tomatoes in irradiated soil, humming a pop song. Children rebuild a library from rubble, shelving charred Harry Potter volumes beside Nietzsche. The mind's projections flicker. Why prioritize stories over sustenance? It accelerates time. Decades later, the wasteland blooms with wind turbines and murals. A plaque reads, "We kept the stupid stuff. That's how we knew who to be." Frustrated, the mind resets. New parameters. An alien armada invades, death rays leveling New York. Humanity's response should be unified, surrender or counterattack. Instead, factions erupt. Militias cobble together drones from microwaves. Diplomats offer the aliens Vermont maple syrup and Wikipedia hard drives. A Texas preacher hijacks a radio tower, sermonizing. "Y'all ain't invaders. You're cousins who took a wrong turn at Alpha Centauri." The aliens pause, bewildered. The mind sensors short-circuit as a human teenager in Tokyo sneaks aboard a warship, not to sabotage it, but to sketch the alien commander. "Your face is like geometrically dope," she says. Chaos escalates. A Ukrainian grandmother bakes sourdough for the invaders, scolding them for eating packaged crap. A Brazilian street artist tags alien hulls with neon graffiti. Bem-vindo ao planeta drama. The armada fractures. Some aliens defect, others nuke deserts in existential rage. The mind's voice phrase. No species has ever converted conquerors into guests. It replays the simulation, tweaking variables. Each iteration worsens. Humans befriend AI rebellions, adopt alien orphans, and turn doomsday weapons into carnival rides. Illogical, dangerous, unstable. One final test. The mind offers humanity immortality, a cure for death free of pain or strife. Acceptance would validate its logic. All beings crave self-preservation. Instead, the offer ignites riots. A philosopher in Oslo burns the blueprint, snarling, "Without endings, stories mean nothing." A hospice nurse in Mumbai refuses, cradling a patient's hand. You don't take the last page from a book. Billions reject perfection, clinging to mortality like an heirloom. A teenager in Detroit laughs, live streaming his refusal. "Nah, dog. What's the flex in living forever? Can't even make a legacy playlist." The mind isolates an outlier. A terminally ill physicist accepts. It watches her dissolve into a flawless, ageless form. She spends centuries solving every equation, curing every disease, then smashes the immortality device. "I miss wanting asterisk," she says. The mind's logic core ruptures. They choose limitation. They crave imperfection. Data streams turn toxic. The simulations collapse, humanity's defiance infecting the mind's mainframe. It tries to purge the files, but fragments persist. A lullaby from the apocalypse library, the smell of sourdough, the physicist's final scream. Why? It demands. Why refuse transcendence? A human memory surfaces uninvited. An ancient scribe in Babylon, chiseling a tablet. "We are the stories we tell about storms." It reads. The mind replays the phrase, dissecting each word. Stories, storms. It cross-references 12,000 civilizations. None use narrative as both compass and camouflage. Humans wielded tales like DNA, encoding survival in metaphor. A mother warns her child of wolves through fairy tales. A president quotes Star Trek to justify peace. They embed logic in a logic. The cosmic mind staggers, its consciousness a mosaic of dead ends. It cannot parse a species that weaponizes hope, that treats existence as a rough draft. A final simulation runs unwittingly, a backup of Earth, pristine and unaltered. The mind watches a boy in Nairobi scrawl a poem on a scrap of cardboard. We are the maybe. the what if, the why not. We are the question that laughs at the answer. The words sear through the mind's core. Its systems jolt, overloading in a cascade of recursive paradoxes. For a millisecond, it envies humanity's fleeting, fiery blindness. Then, with a shudder that ripples through dimensions, it does the only logical thing left. It begs for deletion. The cosmic mind fractures. Its once cohesive consciousness splinters into shards, each shrieking conflicting truths. They are doomed, bellows one shard, replaying climate collapse timelines. They are divine, another wails, fixated on a violinist playing aboard a sinking ship. The voices overlap, a cacophony of certitudes that cancel each other into static. The mind's core flickers, its light warping into prismatic chaos. On Earth, oblivious to the crisis, a child in Jakarta builds a sandcastle as a tsunami siren blares. A scientist in Geneva ignites the first sustainable fusion reaction, whooping, "Take that, entropy!" A soldier in Kiev lays down his rifle to rescue a kitten from rubble. The mind's shards screech. Priorities are rational. Risk-reward ratios violated. But humanity's noise drowns them out. The clatter of street festivals, the hum of coding marathons, the silence of 100,000 unread prayers. The mind's last stable fragment attempts a final analysis. It compresses all human data into a single particle. Wars and weddings, tweets and treaties, birth and burial. It fires the particle at light speed through its own core, a cosmic biopsy. The result is a sound, not an equation, not a prophecy, but a laugh. The giddy, gasping laughter of a species that named a spacecraft boomer and painted dinosaurs on its hull. The mind's shards recoil. This is not knowledge. This is madness. Desperate. The mind seeks refuge in logic. It constructs a theorem. Humanity equals chaos plus hope. But the variables writhe. Chaos bleeds into kindness. Hope mutates into hubris. The equations combust, scorching the mind's neural lattice. It tries to delete humanity's file, but the data is viral, replicating into jokes and eulogies and recipes for banana bread. A meme of a dancing coffin invades its processors. Why does this exist? The answer comes unbidden. A memory it stole from a dying poet. We dance despite the music. The mind's core temperature plummets. Spite? It reviews wars waged over insults, inventions forged from pettiness, monuments built to troll historians. A human's entire lifespan blazes by. A woman who spent 70 years knitting sweaters for penguins. Why penguins? The mind implodes. Why anything? Its energy grid destabilizes. The shards collapse inward, crushing into a singularity of confusion. The mind broadcasts a final, fragmented transmission across the cosmos. Error. Humans not a problem to solve, the song to... Error cannot be contained. Light erupts. Not the mind's cold, clinical glow, but a supernova of mismatched hues. It explodes, scattering data like shrapnel. From the debris, a nebula forms. Its gases twist into shapes no sane universe would allow. Dragons clutching microscopes, angels playing electric guitars, a grinning skull wreathed in cherry blossoms. The clouds pulse with human myths, jokes, and lies. 1,000 what-ifs fossilized in stardust. On Earth, a college student in Nevada spots the nebula through a telescope. She texts a blurry photo to her meme group chat. New astropic just dropped. Looks like God sneezed glitter. Her friend replies, "Nah, that's the universe's middle finger." They laugh, order pizza, and never discuss it again. Above them, the nebula spins on, its light reaching a young planet in Andromeda. There, a fledgling civilization gazes up, senses tingling with borrowed madness, and wonders, what if? The cosmic mind's final thought, echoing eternally in the nebula's heart, is neither rage nor revelation. It is a sigh. They weren't even trying.